And hello.
Why, hello there.
Who we have there?
Uh-huh.
David.
Hi, how you doing?
And of course we are in the museum.
Our favorite sanctuary.
Favorite
space.
hangout spot in the house.
Yeah.
And we're down here. We just wanted to talk while we were doing the tour on my side of the room.
That's right.
I mentioned something and I wanted to talk about it a little more and let David chime in. That's
Which you've added to already. You've already got more
new
stuff
guy
in here already.
The one thing that I mentioned and I wanted to talk about and let David just chime in a little bit on it and get his take on it and get your take, get the conversation going. Once you get to a certain point in your collection room, the space you have, you hear some people say, well, I'm going to sell this or sell a couple of things to make room for something else. Or you have people that store figures so that they'll have room to store something else, and then maybe eventually they'll rotate them out. And it's like, how do you pick and choose what you want to display? What do you want to get rid of? How do you choose that?
Yeah, and I've heard people make that comment too. I won't bring something in unless something is going out, kind of way of doing it. And you know, if that works for you, that's fine. Personally, I'm kind of the impression that you could end up getting rid of something you might want again later anyways, and then it may be harder to find.
Yeah, so. And you hear that with people. They'll say, oh, I had that figure, that statue or whatever, and I got rid of it and now I regret it. I want it back. And some people actually went back and bought it.
Again.
At the second-hand market price, because when they bought it originally, they bought it at retail. And then they, of course, spent more, you know, and so when the name of the game with collecting also is space.
You know,
picking and choosing.
Another point on that too, I primarily hear that from statue collectors.
Yeah.
Statue collectors more often say, oh yeah, you know, because they're so big, I got to make room, and I'll move something out, and I've got to sell something to buy something else.
Yeah.
But I also frequently hear those same statue collectors sit there and say, I really wanted that piece. I went and had to find it again. It cost me a little more. So I'm not so sure that's the best option. At least I don't think so.
And I mean, I know because I do collect some statues, as you can see, and like I've said before, I do have 5 on pre-order waiting to be released, and it does take up a lot of space, and you have to find ways to display it. The display that we have now, I don't care for. It's open, it's on a table, but it's all we have now. You have some people, they have detolfs, they have modu cases, they have specially made cabinets and shelves, and it is a lot to display. They're big, they're bulky, everything is moving up to quarter scale, 1/3 scale.
Yeah, they're getting bigger and bigger trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta find a place to display them, and I can tell you, 5 statues are not gonna fit on that table. But what I'm gonna do is pack these up and put the 5 up here, because right now you have 6 sitting up here now.
Yeah.
So I'll put the 5, because out of the 5, I think 3 of them are going to be a 3rd scale.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be huge, and you know, maybe somebody will let me put something on their little table. I doubt it.
Well, you've been taking over my space inch by inch anyways, smuggling your stuff in here.
Yeah.
She does that to me. Look at this over here. While we're on the subject, where'd that lunchbox come
I
from?
gave him that
Huh?
lunchbox to go with his Sesame Street set because I had more than one Sesame Street lunchbox.
Bet you didn't know there were Sesame Street action figures made by Knickerbocker, did you?
We'll go more in depth with that when
Yeah.
we get to David's side.
David's tour.
But back to what we were talking about. How do you choose from, I mean, because at one point you saw something, an action figure, a statue, or something, and you said, man, I want to buy that, and you went out, you bought it, you paid the money, you may have paid shipping, you searched for it, and whatever, and then you got to the point and you said, you know what, I need to get rid of this because I need more room.
I can understand getting rid of something if it was an impulse buy.
Yeah.
Because we all have done that. Where it's like, oh yeah, I really want that, and you get it, and you're like, wow, this isn't what I expected at all.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
And I've had that. I
Yeah.
bought a couple of things, and once I got it out of the box. I looked at it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that's what this was gonna look like. You know.
Yeah. So then if you turn around and sell or trade that, it's all right. I mean, it's neither here nor there. Space is always an issue. We all know the struggle of finding space. Fortunately for us, we have a big space to work with.
And it's still running out.
It's still not enough.
Yeah.
It's still not enough, and a lot of people, it's like being homeless. You know, like homeless people, and you see them walking around with 100 bags, got all these shopping bags and
And
stuff.
shopping carts.
Only in this case, you're living wherever you're living, but you've got your whole life in totes. And I've been there. I've been there when I was living in Boston, when I was working with Great Eastern Conventions, when I used to be a dealer kind of officially. And I had, living in apartments, I didn't have that much space. I had a big TV cabinet with like 50 60s and 70s original G.I. Joes sitting on top of it. You know, you do what you can, and then everything else was in totes. I must have had 50 totes stacked in that apartment with stuff in it.
Yeah.
You got nowhere to put it.
And even now, I know underneath my table, there's a ton of stuff under there.
If you turn around here and you look underneath,
yeah,
that's
this
all
table
full under here.
Under both of these tables, because this big one right here is a table, and this smaller one here is a table, and underneath both of them
Storage
is full of stuff.
Yeah.
That I just don't have room to display. And then you have to say, okay, like I took down some of the wrestlers that I have. I love wrestlers, and this whole shelf right here that you're looking at with all of these Masters of the Universe, this side and this side that now has pops on it, was all full of wrestlers, and this whole shelf was full of wrestlers, and I had to take them all down because I wanted to display some other stuff. There were some other things I would rather display. The vintage Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Than wrestlers.
In this case, she prioritized.
Yeah.
'Cause she was like, all right, personally to me, or my playing the part of LPH here, personally to me, putting up my vintage Masters meant more than having up some more modern wrestling figures.
Yeah. And that's how I felt about it. I mean, I know a lot of my collection is modern. I know that.
Sure.
I have a lot of modern things. But, within some of the modern things, I really like them and I want them on display.
Yeah.
But Masters of the Universe is my biggest passion, and I love them the most. So I chose. And I didn't get rid of the wrestlers. I had to pack them away.
Pack them away.
Pack them away nice and neatly. I have some other things down there that I'm trying to figure out. Now, what's next? What would I rather, get rid of for now? Not get rid of, but just pack away for now and allow this to be displayed. So, I still have a lot of things that I would rather see, and I'd rather make an appearance, give some shelf space to. But I honestly don't know what I want to move. What else would I want to move? What else would I want to take down? You
Without
know?
packing it up too much, because there are some people, and if you're limited for shelf space and you got to do it, you got to do it. But they make the shelves super deep with figures. It'll be like 10 rows deep and you can't see anything, or they get boxes. You see this a lot with Funko collectors too. They run out of space because they're invasive.
Yeah.
Funko,
Like kudzu.
you can't display them after a while because you keep buying them and keep buying them, and then you end up turning the box sideways, and
Yeah.
then you're looking at the side of the box instead of the front, and then you got to push it into the shelf and put the next row on.
Yeah.
And you get them 3-4 deep on the shelf turned sideways. You're not displaying them anymore.
Yeah, you just got them
That's
now.
just storage.
Yeah, you just got it.
Yeah.
So, how many of you have fell into that little dilemma?
Yeah.
You got that problem. You have so much stuff and such limited space. You don't know what to display. So then you pack some away and you say, okay, you'll be displayed for 6 months or 3 months, and then I'll switch it out. And that's an option that you can do, and it'll help keep your room switched around and changed, and it'll help keep things dusted off, if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah. Rotate your stock every once in a while if you have the time.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have the time, just come down, I guess, on a Sunday or Saturday or something like that, or one night, and say, you know what, okay, I'm going to switch this whole shelf out, or this bookcase or something. I'm going to switch it out with something else and let something else be displayed for a while so I can look at it and remember and just have a good time with it.
Yeah, but don't let your lack of space discourage you.
Yeah. And we've said that before. And that's the biggest, I think the biggest problem all collectors have, no matter what you collect.
In common, yeah.
Yeah. The space issue. Because nobody has, like, the infinite amount of space. At least I don't think so.
I'm sure there's some people that have like a crazy amount of space. And they just, you remember the Lunchbox store, although that guy's got to rent a space in a antique store.
Yeah,
to
he
do
got
it.
like
He had his own
half
museum.
of the antique store full of lunchboxes, but a lot of those lunchboxes were duplicate, triplicates.
Yeah. He
And
just can't help himself.
yeah, and then people donated to the museum, and he had some for sale. Some of them were for sale.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
some people have a ton of space, and some people have a limited space. Like I said, we're lucky. We have a pretty fair sized space. We had a big bonus room. Said, hey, museum. Hey, what do you think? And
Yeah.
we're both on the same page with the collecting.
yeah,
And some people, again, they don't have much space, and they get constricted, and that can actually be very discouraging to some collectors. Remember the one guy we were talking to, and he said he was at the point where Funko collector again. He's got them in his kitchen and his bathroom.
Oh,
You guys
God,
remember
yeah.
him? He was like, yeah. He's like, they're on display in the kitchen. I got them in the bathroom. You know, my spouse is getting annoyed.
yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean,
yeah, that's going too far, especially in places like the kitchen and bathroom where moisture and temperature changes can affect the condition of your packaging and of your merchandise.
yeah, especially in the kitchen where you can have grease if you fry.
Yeah.
Or you got the odors from the food. They get into things. They get into your clothes,
Yeah.
and they will get into that paper good. So,
That's why you can't hardly ever find those Pillsbury's white. See how mine are all white?
Yeah, because people did put them in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. Back in the 70s when they would get those from Sears. I think it was Sears that used to sell these. They would take them out and display them in the kitchen. Every time you see them yellow, brown, all kinds of, and
They
they're
got
always
grease stains.
They're always
Sticky.
Yeah, they're always sticky. These are like really white by comparison.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the kitchen or in the bathroom especially, all that moisture and temperature changes and causes expansion and shrinkage, and glue gives out. And
I saw one
yeah.
guy on YouTube. He had his stuff in the bathroom, but he put it in a bathroom that he didn't use.
He didn't even use the bathroom. I remember
Yeah,
that.
he didn't use that bathroom. So he had stuff. He had the
Oh
toilet
my God.
covered. And he had stuff displayed on the back of the toilet. You know how you put the shelf on the back of the
Wow.
toilet, and in the shower he had the tub situated where it had stuff all back there, and it was just crazy. I was like, wow, dude, you really ran out of space and
Or
had to
on
do
the
this.
ceiling. They stick things to the
Yeah.
ceiling, or they hang them from the ceiling because they're like, I got no more space.
Yeah, you got a whole ceiling up here.
Wow.
Now I can see if you got airplanes and they're like
Yeah, if you got
dangling down.
loose things, loose vehicles. I've seen people do that with Star Wars figures. Star Wars vehicles and GI Joe vehicles, and they get some wires and hang them. Yeah, I see that because people used to do that with model kits. But I don't know about taking pins and sticking action figure packages to the ceiling though. But
I don't know. I think that's good. I put a poster up.
I've seen people do that though.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't mind it if it's up there tastefully.
Yeah.
You get some posters and put it up there. Give yourself something to look at. I guess make it interesting. I guess, but you have to do what you have to do, and if that's what you have to do,
Yeah.
that's what you have to do. So you got anything else?
No, I look into different types of display. You know, we've talked about our system. I still get questions about that. People who are new to the channel and like, what kind of shelving is that?
Yeah.
You know, I get that a lot. We did a video on it some time ago about the slat wall system.
Yeah.
Because you can get these shelves. Ours are all transparent shelves, but they do come in colors. And they come in a wide variety of sizes, and even full shelves can attach to it like that. And that way you can switch it around to however you want. And they have them with
You got pegs.
wider and thinner spacing between the shelf markers as well.
This is one. It's real small.
No, I mean the wall itself.
Oh,
Because you've seen
yeah.
them where it's like half that size even. So you there's a lot of options with it, and that's why we chose it. But you know, whatever. And this isn't too expensive either. Surprisingly, these are cheap wholesale. But you know, look into different types of display units and things that you can use to display things the way you want, or the way that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, and you know, you got the bookshelf option, the detolf option. The detolfs are kind of expensive,
Yeah,
I
they are.
believe. I saw a system that I want to try. I don't know if we can do it here because it'll take up space, but somebody took a metal shelf system that they bought from like Home Depot that
The rack system.
yeah, that you would normally put in your garage or your pantry or something like that, and they blocked it off with some acrylic to make it look like glass panels, and it came out really nice. And they put statues on it, and if you looked at it from far away, they looked like the Maji case, but you know, just cheaper because of the way they did it. And then they did a step-by-step on how it was done, and I thought it came out nice. And it was something I said, you know, I want to try that and see if it would work for us and get rid of those tables, because I just don't like the statues being open on the table. It collects a lot of dust.
She wants to be able to put it in a shelving system, but we just kind of don't have, unless we put it down the middle of here.
Yeah.
But you know, for the time being, the tables work.
Yeah, for the time being, but eventually we'll.
And we got them for a really good price from a store closing.
Yeah. And those are some places that you can go and find some stuff. Stores that are going out of business. You check them out. They always sell their stuff fairly cheap. Some of them are cheap. Some stores are cheaper than others. Some stores just give away their stuff.
There's that Bone Luke Duke autograph again.
And he sat right by the bedside too
Yeah.
for a long time. But some places sold it cheap. Other places they like to, screw you over.
Oh, this is the autograph.
Oh yeah. I don't know if y'all ever saw this one. Let's lay it down right here.
Yeah.
David framed it and matted it. He does matting. Oh, hold on, there's a glare.
There's a lot of glare, I bet.
Put it like that, I guess. Yeah, he framed and matted. He did a good job. His little matting system.
You can't get that signature anymore.
No.
He won't do that anymore. Now he just does a U and a T with an arrow.
Yeah, got lazy.
Yeah.
And Paul Bear even signed it.
I did that for her as a birthday present some years ago.
Oh, boy.
She likes The Undertaker.
I do. I like The Undertaker. And I get him for Christmas, birthday, Valentine, anniversary. Doesn't matter. That's how it goes. But yeah, we wanted to just talk about that and give people some ideas, get your ideas and how you handle that dilemma of figuring out what you want to display in your room because you just have so much stuff, and how do you manage that? So, you have anything else?
No, it ain't easy. It's a struggle. And like I said, it's a struggle that I think all collectors of all types of things are familiar with. Mm-hmm. Or think about what it must be like for people who collect trading cards. And
It's easy.
Well, yeah, you put them in sleeves. You can get those sleeves, or you can get the boxes and collect them. When do you ever see them?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had trading cards before. I don't really do that anymore. But you can get them in those. They have the sleeves, and the sleeve holds 9, and you put them in the big book. And maybe every once in a while, if you remember you got it, you can pull the book out and flip through it. But otherwise, you never see the stuff. Or if you put them in the long boxes or the big boxes, you never see the cards.
Yeah. And I guess it's the same with comic books. You get them, you put it in the box, and that's that. You read it that one time if you read it at all.
Yeah.
And then you put it away in your box.
That's one thing I do like about the encapsulations, though, is like if you have if you got graded books like this, you can since it is kind of framed, you can put
hang it on the wall.
you can put it on the wall and display it.
Yeah, that is.
If you've got something special you want to show, like a first issue, like this is number 1. This one is the first appearance of Lobo, a first issue or a key issue. Blue Devil number 1. I know some glare on there. Something special you can show it off.
Yeah.
Batman.
Hang it up on the wall.
Batman family. So there's that option. I thought about putting a couple up in here.
Yeah, I put up a few. I only have like 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I don't really read them. I'll read it if it's in a book form. But if it's just a little magazine, I won't read it.
Yeah, she's got to have the big book.
Yeah. I won't read it if it's in a magazine form. But if it's in a book form, I'll read it. I got issues, so.
That's all right. We all have our little nuances.
Yeah. And if anybody heard of the G.I. Joe IDW collection, let me know, because I'm looking at that and I'm trying to figure out exactly, from what I've read, it's a bunch of the comic books in a certain order. I thought it was, when I saw it, it looks like it's a novel. And if it's a novel, I'll really read it. But I'm thinking it's the comic books just bound together in a book. And the couple of things I read said that it's in a certain order. So I'm just trying to figure out if anybody has it and has read it. Just let me know. exactly how it is before I go off and get it and then not like it. But yeah, I think that's about all we have unless David has something else.
No, that's fine. I mean, you get the idea. Like I said, it's just hard. It's hard on everybody unless they have like a massive bonus area.
Yeah, you have to build like a 30 by 30 room.
Or if they have a huge basement, but then you've got to be careful with basements.
Moisture.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. You know, dust, humidity, a lot of
Yeah.
things can cause problems.
And on that 30 by 30 room, I saw a YouTube video, and a guy, he actually built onto his house. I think his was 20 by 20 or maybe 30 by 30 room. And that's for a big room. And man, it was packed, floor to ceiling with stuff. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And all of his stuff was loose. And he had it on shelves. Like those big industrial shelves.
Can you imagine an earthquake?
Yeah. And I saw another YouTube video with a guy, he was showing after an earthquake and all of his stuff, and he was going through assessing it and how much stuff got damaged and the damage caused, you know, how much stuff was damaged. So. But anyway, we wanted to just stop for a second and talk to you about that, and again get some ideas and see what you had to say and see what your thoughts and feelings are about it. So until next time, we will see you later.